It's Tuesday, January 12th, 2021. I'm Greg Nibbler, and this is Chewbox Live. Look at that awesome intro. Hello, everyone. Yes, indeed, I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Box Media. Thank you for finding us wherever you did. We appreciate it. It's TWO Box Media. Whatever social media platform you are on, you can find us there. And we are covering CES. It's day number 2. And while it's all virtual, I'm still tired. I don't know why. I guess it's because I've been on Zoom virtual meetings all day and just watching things, but nonetheless, a lot of tech coming out as usual. And that's what we want to do, is keep you up to date with that. We've got some interviews coming up with IBM and JLab. We're going to play those in a bit, but we'd like to start you off with catching you up with some technology from the show. And today, the theme really is concept tech. That's what I want to talk about. These aren't things you're going to get right away, but they're still cool nonetheless. We're going to start off with GM. Of course, automobiles being a big part of CES, and GM came out with 2 different things. The first one is this that they showed off during their presentation, and it has to do with an autonomous vehicle that gets you around, whether it's commuting or various different trips around a city. And it looks like a van. They're not the first ones to come out with a concept like this, but it is something that they're showcasing how seriously they're taking this. So it's a self-driving vehicle that essentially, when you get into it, it's got some really specific tech of what they're saying of how this could work. It would have biometric sensors. So when you actually got into the vehicle, it would be able to tell what your body temperature is, was one of the things they mentioned, so that they could actually adjust the temperature accordingly for that, which is pretty fascinating on that aspect. It would be able to even, they kind of mentioned olfactory, so I don't know if they would change up the scent for you. You would be able to utilize hand gestures and voice commands, which makes sense as we see all of that technology kind of coming together into autonomous vehicles. But again, taking a look at this, looks like a lounge. They would have a clear glass on the top, but then have you focused on what's going on inside. They mentioned it as being something for like families traveling around, but kind of a cool idea there. From that, the other way that they would be utilizing autonomous technology has to do with this. And that's, well, the autonomous technology is actually the vehicle there, but this goes to the other thing I'm going to talk about, and it has to do with a personal flying machine. Yes, that is where we are at. This is Cadillac showcasing this, and this is all part of their Project Halo, and part of it that has to do with this is this essentially a drone, a personal drone that you would be able to take as part of also this city commuting. And that's really what, again, that they're focused on when it comes down to it. So they're envisioning this as being on the top of buildings. You would come out, you would hop into it, you would fly over to the next building and then settle down. It's got 4 rotors on it. And this, again, not something that's going to be coming out right away. They're not the only company working on it, but still a really cool showcase to see somebody like GM showcasing how much they're involved in this and how much they want this to happen. It'd have a 90 kilowatt hour electric vehicle. It can travel up to speeds of 56 miles per hour. They said they're also working on a 2-person version that would go this. Again, GM showcasing this concept. And I keep saying showcasing, but that really is what it is. They're saying this is where they see this going. So electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. Pretty cool. I kind of want to take a ride in one of these things, and hopefully that would happen sooner than later. Going from those concepts from GM, let's go over to Razer. And switching gears here, certainly the pandemic has had an influence on technology over this last year in a lot of ways. And CES being virtual, that's one of the big ones. But I think one thing we've all purchased that we did not plan on at the start of this year are face masks. And this is Razer showing one of their concepts for that. And it's interesting. We've seen concepts before, but this is Razer kind of coming in and putting their spin on it. And so this is called Project Hazel. This is their part of this, to where this face mask would have it would be essentially a smart face mask. It's got a rechargeable active ventilation system that would be a part of it. It would regulate the airflow, and this is detachable that you could take off. It would be N95 compliant, which you would expect when it comes to a smart face mask. But on top of that, it would have a transparent front panel so that you could see what people's facial reactions are. That's something that I guess we're all kind of getting used to when you're out in public. You don't know what anybody's the bottom half of your face looks like. This would be a way to mitigate some of that. It would also allow for people who they said, if you're deaf or hard of hearing, to be able to read lips. That's certainly a big advantage there. But something that is kind of unique for Razer here, putting it on it, is it would have a voice amp. So I don't know if you could get the Bane voice to be part of this, but it would have an amplification so you don't sound as muffled. You'd also have a carrying case with it that would help sanitize it when you put it back away. And it is Razer, so it would have the RGB lighting on it too, so you could customize that. But that is their Project Hazel face mask. And from that, another concept that Razer had showcasing is a gaming chair. Again, gaming chairs, we've seen them before. This one kind of takes it to the next level. Still a concept, but pretty cool. I mean, we're all at home gaming a lot more right now anyway. I'm going to say this is something I would probably want. It's got a few specific things on it. One of them being a 60-inch curved OLED television that would pop out from the back. So it's not laying around so you can't just, accidentally break it during the day. It would come out from the back of the chair. It's got a custom thing right there so you can put your keyboard or your snacks, put your Cheetos on there. It's got some armrests that will adjust for it naturally. Of the OLED television, I'm sure would be at the top of the charts as far as 4K and everything else. It's got the RGB lighting. It have haptic feedback that's audio driven. So whatever game that you're going to be playing, that would also be reflected in there. It's something that's pretty cool. We don't know if that'll actually come out, but nonetheless, Razer would be one of the companies that would be at the forefront of something like that. So that is their concept gaming chair. It's what I love about CES is seeing this kind of stuff. Some of it may not come out, but some of these ideas will translate into other products, even if these ones don't become a reality. And there's so much to follow up on with CES, and there's a lot to do, but that's what I just wanted to bring you some of that from today, from day number 2, when it comes to concept technology. Now, coming up, we've got some interviews for you because we spoke to a lot of people, and we're going to have these kind of all week long, but coming up here that you're going to get to see next, we spoke to JLab about some new technology they have coming out and an award they won. Plus, we'll be speaking to IBM and talking about some of the patents and different huge problems and challenges in technology that they're tackling with all of the different patents they have, whether it's AI or quantum computing or cloud technology, a lot of stuff there. So those are both coming up for you. We are broadcasting live, and I do thank everybody for joining us. Again, hit subscribe if it's your first time finding us, whether you're finding us live or after the fact. We appreciate you being here. I'm Greg Nibbler. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with JLab after this.
With true wireless.
And hello, everyone. I'm Greg Nibbler for 2Box Live. Follow us, 2Box Media, wherever you are to get all of our latest videos. And of course, we're covering CES 2021 and all of the latest innovations in tech, which includes audio devices, headphones. There's all kinds of things that are out there right now and some really cool stuff that we're going to talk about next, including an innovation award. But let me introduce our guest right now. We have the Chief Marketing Officer for JLab. We have Terra Teat joining us. Terra, hello. How you doing?
Hi, doing great. How are you doing?
Doing good. It's CES virtually. It's a strange year for so many reasons, but I'm excited, though, that we still get to see cool innovations and tech come out. And I guess the first thing I want to talk to you about is this new one that JLab put out. It's the Jbuds Frame, if I'm saying that correct. And I wonder if you could kind of walk us through what this is and what specifically you were going for with this new product.
Yeah, absolutely. We're thrilled to announce the Jbuds Frames, which we launched at CES. They'll be available this spring, but I'm actually wearing them right now. So it's a really cool piece that attaches to your glasses or your sunglasses and becomes your audio device. So, has 8 hours of playtime, microphone in both pieces. You can use them both together or one at a time. It's a really unique product out there. And, we're kind of bringing the JLab spin to it, which is making it accessible from a price point and making sure it fits a variety of people and purposes. So we're super excited about this announcement.
Well, it's definitely interesting when you think about something like that too. That's we're so used to seeing some of the innovations with actually ear pods and all different earbuds and everything with those, but something like this that can go on the glasses. And I know specifically these can clip on to pretty much any glass style. And when you're using this, what I guess is the ideal use case that you would picture for something like this?
Yeah, there's several uses. JLab, we're really a great earbud company, and true wireless has been our strength for a long time. We're the number one true wireless under $100. So this is a totally new use case. And, some examples, if you're like in an office environment, you want to hear what's going around you, if you're ever in an office environment again, that is. But if someone's
Right.
coming up, you want to be able to hear them approaching. So it's personal sound, so people can't hear it around you. Another use case is if you're outdoors and you're running and you've got your favorite sunglasses. These can fit on a different variety of frames and sizes. So if you have your favorite sunglasses for running, this is a great option to add to your glasses for a run and still hear the cars around you, be safe. And then there's also those people. I think people with glasses sometimes get forgotten, and finding comfort with your headphones. It's hard to wear headphones over glasses. People that don't like earbuds put into their ears. There's those type of people. So I think this product is unique for a lot of different specific use cases.
Yeah, I like that. You mentioned a few on there. I was just, when I first saw them, one thing I thought about is I used to go, back when, again, going to the office, participating in races and events with other people, I used to do hood to coast. And one of the things there is you can't wear, it's a relay race and you can't wear earbuds, but this would be perfect for that, to like clip on
Yeah.
to your sunglasses and have something in that way. So you can still hear the
Yep.
environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So going from that, that's really cool. And you said that they're coming out in the spring, and I know the price point's kind of a key issue as well because there may be some competitors out there in the market that have this kind of tech, but JLab comes in at a price that seems to be a little bit more affordable, I guess.
Yep, absolutely. I can't believe I didn't tell you the price. The price is $50. And the other unique piece is that, other brands come with the sound integrated into the sunglasses or the glasses. And, I think all of us have very personal styles and preferences for what we put on our face as far as glasses and sunglasses. And so this allows you to kind of interchange it and have several different pairs that you can add the piece to later.
Nice. Well, again, that's the Jbuds frames. So those are out, $50. Everybody can check those out. Going from that, I want to talk about CES and some of your, as we mentioned, the AirPods. I will say I actually have a pair. I happened to have it sitting here when I knew that we were going to be interviewing
that's
you. I was
awesome.
using them this morning.
Yeah.
These aren't the ones that were the innovation ones, but these are still, I am familiar
Still
with
great.
JLab products, and I want to hear about these new ones that you just won the award. I know active noise cancellation being a big trend within the industry, and that's something that JLab is bringing with this. And can you tell us a little about what this line is and what the award was for?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had two products in our Epic Air family win the Innovation Award for CES 2021, and that's the Epic Air ANC and the Epic Air Sport ANC. So the Epic Air are really our premium offering at an amazing price. So they're $100 with active noise canceling, which is an amazing bargain. Within the earbuds themselves, we have the longest battery life. With the case combined, you can get up to 70 plus hours, depending on which model. And then we have the two models. So the one is the in-ear piece, and then the other is a more sport-focused piece, if you like the ear hook style. So both feature active noise canceling, and when you're working with the tiny, I guess, frame of an earbud, it's challenging to fit in all this technology with true wireless and dual connect and ANC. So a lot of amazing technology packed into these little products.
Yeah, that's a lot that goes into that, and I know, like you mentioned, it's a small area to fit a lot of things in to maintain quality sound and battery life and all of that. And I guess for coming up with something that has active noise cancellation like this, can you tell us just a little bit more about it, specifically how that works for the JLab ones?
Yeah, so this is a newer active noise canceling technology for us. We call it smart active noise canceling. So there's two microphones. One collects the noise from outside. So there's whatever it's cars or people talking or if you're ever in an airplane again, those kind of noises, and then it feeds that into the earbud, cancels out some of those noise. The other microphone actually takes what passes through that and then kind of edits and fixes the sound so it's a better experience overall. And that's, we call it smart because it adapts to what's going on around you. And so if you kind of listen to it for a little bit longer, the sound will get a little better and a little better as it learns what kind of environmental noise is going on around you.
Nice. I mean, clearly, and it got an innovation award too for part of that. Which congratulations! I know that's a big part of CES as well. That's an honor to have on there. And talking about CES, and I've been kind of asking everybody this. I'm used to being down there. I've covered 7 or 8 of these in person in Las Vegas. Now we're all remote. What's it been like for you from representing a product and doing it in this style versus going around to booths and showcasing people and talking to journalists? How's your CES been so far?
Yeah, it's been, I kind of like the challenge. It's been kind of fun. We created some CES inspired backgrounds. We've been using those with media and our customers. We've been doing some live videos. We actually have a very small team that's there at CES, so we are doing some broadcasting live stuff. I'm here, kind of holding down the fort and talking to people like you. So we do have a small team that's there because we want to stand out, we want to be different, and get that full CES experience. But I like it. It feels like we're packing in a lot, and it's been unique. We've had some media events where usually your people are coming through and saying hi one by one, and we've had some kind of like big Zoom meeting rooms where people pop in and you're in the middle of a conversation with someone and some strangers come into your Zoom. It's just, it's kind of fun to just roll with it.
Yeah, it's definitely different, a unique experience that I think we're all going through at the same time. So it's kind of fascinating seeing that. Well, Terra, I want to say thank you very much for taking some time with us too. I appreciate it a lot, and finding out about the new products. As I said, I've used them before. That's not anything that was planned beforehand. It was like, wait, we're talking to JLab today. Oh, there they are right there. But really exciting to hear about what you've got coming out there. And thanks for joining us here on 2Box Media.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
That is Terra, Chief Marketing Officer for JLab. Again, check out their new things. We got the Jbuds Jframes, and then we talked about the new Epic Air that they won the Innovation Award. So you can check out all of those as well. And thanks for joining us. I'm Greg Nibbler. We'll be back soon with more 2Box Live covering CES 2021. And welcome back to 2Box Live. Follow us, 2Box Media, wherever you are right now. I'm Greg Nibbler. We're continuing our coverage of CES 2021. And something that's synonymous with CES is always innovation. It's one of the things I'm most excited to see is where companies are going. And certainly a company at the forefront of that and also synonymous with innovation is IBM. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. Joining us, we have Jeff Welser from IBM. And Jeff, I want to say thank you very much. You're the VP, I want to get your title right, VP of Exploratory Science and University Partnerships for IBM Research. That is an impressive title. It's a mouthful, but it encompasses a lot of things. And I want to say thank you very much for joining us here today.
Thanks very much for having me. Yeah, it's a long title, but a lot of fun work, so I'm enjoying it.
It really is. Yeah, it's a great title. And I talked about innovation and IBM. It's something that I've followed what the company does for a long time, but what you've been doing now for I believe it's 28 years in a row is leading the U.S. in patent applications, and I that's a lot to try to understand. And I wonder if you could kind of make sense of that. I know it's a big thing that you just accomplished with this report that just came out, but can you talk a little bit about patents and why it's such a big deal that IBM is leading this once again?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So patents have been part of our culture from the beginning, and really, it's really part of our innovation culture as a whole. Because obviously, patents aren't the only thing we do to produce technology. We do publications regularly. We actually work on the open source community quite a bit. But patents has been sort of the heart and blood of innovation for many years, and we're very proud that 28th year in a row now we have more U.S. patents than any other company, just over 9,000 this year. And really, when we think about it, it's not just the sheer number, but where are we choosing to do those patents? And for IBM, the areas that we care about the most: AI, hybrid cloud, quantum computing, and security, cybersecurity. We lead in all of those areas individually as well as a total number, and that's really what's key in terms of making sure these patents actually can show up eventually in products and services for our clients.
Well, and you mentioned, all those categories that you just talked about are certainly at the forefront of the entire world of technology, really, right now. And I just want to kind of talk about that a little bit, artificial intelligence, and what a huge role that plays, not only in the products that we get, but also just how everything runs in the background. And I know there's been issues with AI, there's been advancements in AI, there's all kinds of different things. And for you, for IBM, what are some of the big challenges you're tackling right now when it comes to artificial intelligence and these innovations and patents that you're getting?
Where we really focus our AI work is on the things that our clients are going to be using the most. So things like natural language processing, the ability to read contracts and documents and understand them, to do talks to text and text to talk, to be able to think out ways of using it to maybe have better cybersecurity in your data centers, or even ways to actually help it generate code for you, to actually help you write programs and code in the future. So we really focus in those areas and finding ways then to use it to help in specific client problems. So, for example, one patent that we were highlighting this year was a patent that can listen to a conversation, say in a customer service center, and detect the tone of the conversation. Is it cheerful? Is it happy? Is it frustrated? And then use that information to maybe help figure out how they can improve customer service in the future. Because obviously, a lot of communication is not just the words; it's the tone and information that goes back and forth.
That's something that I could see being really valuable for a lot of reasons. Also, just even like artificial assistance and understanding, the tone of frustration if it keeps playing the wrong song. Just seeing different applications of that. Tone, definitely big. And understanding with AI. Something else that you're working on, and it's a word that gets tossed around a lot. I think for a lot of people, it's and this is me included, it's still a little bit hard to understand what the ramifications are. But when we talk about quantum computing, and I know that's something else that IBM is certainly at the forefront working on, can you talk to us just a little bit about that and where some of the advancements you think can come from some of this work that you're doing?
And quantum computing really is sort of a next generation of computing that can solve problems that could not ever be solved, and the biggest supercomputer you could possibly imagine in the classical world. And these are problems like quantum chemistry or materials manipulation, but there are also things like financial analysis and risk analysis, or even machine learning and AI. So a lot of application areas that we think it can have an impact on. The challenge is that we are just now getting to the cusp of the quantum era, where we're getting systems that are built large enough that we can start to use them for real applications. We're still a couple of years away before they could really be used to actually have a real business value, but we are continuing to do the innovations necessary for it. And so it's everything from continuing to make the hardware itself better. So one of the patents we were highlighting was one that helps with something called frequency collision between qubits, which basically means the qubits are noisy, they interfere with each other, you can't do good logic gates with them. But that's sort of the geeky end. On the other side, we also had a patent on a better way to map a risk algorithm onto a quantum computer, which would be of great interest to the financial industry. And it's one of the reasons that a lot of the members of our quantum computing network right now are people coming from banks and financial institutions, as well as the people from the universities and the government, and materials companies and science companies.
Well, and yeah, all those different kinds of ramifications, different applications that could come from that. I think That's something that even if people are unfamiliar with it right now, you're going to become familiar with it really quick here within the next few years about some of these different things that we're going to be able to do. Something else, you mentioned tackling problems that were maybe previously unsolvable or very difficult to solve. And given the time that we're in, I mean, this is CES and we're remote. We're not in the same location because there's a pandemic. And I know for COVID research in particular, and that probably extrapolates out to bigger issues, but IBM is part of something, I think it was back in April with open COVID research. Can you just kind of let people know a little bit more about that and how that's being applied from IBM and from these other research organizations?
Yeah, we worked really hard to figure out how we could go in and make some help for the COVID problem in general, right? Because obviously we aren't going to patent anything new in the next 2 months. But one of the things we did with the Open COVID Pledge was we joined a lot of other companies to say anyone who wants to get access to our patent portfolio, and we have over 80,000 in the IBM patent portfolio, to use it for helping to treat COVID or mitigate the symptoms, you can use it. And that's true even for things that we're going to file up through 2023. So it's really just accepting that, there are times when you just really want to come together as a community and say, anything we can do to solve this problem, let's not put inhibitors in our way from doing that. But we also put out tools that people can use now for helping in that search. So our AI tools, for example, that can help to read through large amounts of literature, to find maybe signals in medical literature today that might help a researcher trying to do research against the COVID virus, or even finding ways to maybe repurpose existing drugs to use as therapeutics against the virus. So we put out a whole bunch of those sorts of tools out for people to use, again, just sort of generally across the community. And I think it's really been great to see how so many companies came together on this. Lastly, I'd point out IBM helped to start, along with the Washington, D.C. government, the HPC consortium, where a bunch of companies, ourselves and Microsoft and Amazon and all the national labs, actually put in some of our supercomputing cycles for people to use, again, for free if they're working on a COVID problem right now. So I think it's really good to see the way the community can come together for something like this.
I love that. Yeah, it's such a good thing to see. Like you said, like all of these major organizations and institutions like IBM and the other ones you mentioned, all working together to try to solve this problem. And there's so much that can be done with that. But IBM, working with all these different companies and with all these patents that you have. And I want to let somebody else know out there, say there is a researcher out there or a company that would want to work with IBM and talk about some of these patents you have. What's the best way for them to get a hold of you and kind of get involved?
Certainly can find me on Twitter at jeff.welser, but you can also go on the web, ibm.com, research.ibm.com. You've got a great website out there. You can find pretty much anything you need.
All right, there we go. So finding out. All right, so there it is. Again, thank you to IBM, thank you to Jeff for joining us for that, and thank you to Terra as well, and all of you watching. Again, CES, the Consumer Electronics Show, all virtual this year, but still so many cool things to talk about and to cover, and we're trying to get to as much as we can every day, and that's why we encourage you to follow us, 2Box Media, TWO Box Media, on whatever platform you're on. Please share the show, let other people know about it. We'll put these things up as segments as well. More interviews on the way. Actually, we've got more that we'll be playing tomorrow and on Thursday, and that we're going to be doing a lot of tech to talk about and a lot of things to cover. I mean, this is usually where we see this technology debut that could change our lives down the line or just be cool gadgets. It's all kind of encompassing when it comes down to it. So again, thank you. Thanks for being a part of this. Thanks to the companies that join us for this. If you want to find out more information, you can always go to 2boxmedia.com. Send me an email, greg@2boxmedia. Write us on social media. Follow us. All of that. We will absolutely reach back out and say hello. Let us know what you think and your thoughts on it. And on behalf of myself and Mike Solis and Jess Serba, we really appreciate you joining us. 2Box Media. I'm Greg Nibbler, and we'll be back tomorrow with more CES 2021 coverage.